President Trump says he is not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. For reasons unknown, he tweeted a volley of criticism of digital currencies. He said they are not money. They are highly volatile and can facilitate unlawful activity. And as for Libra, which is the virtual currency Facebook says it's launching, the president said it would have little standing or dependability. The US dollar, he says, will always be the most dominant currency in the world. My next guest tweeted in response, "Can't buy better publicity than this." Michael Casey is cryptocurrency.
Good to see you,
What did
Richard.
you mean by that?
Well, I mean, look, first of all, if you think about Bitcoin from its price perspective and where lots of people at the moment in its life are focused on, they're treating it as, let's call it digital gold, right? It's a vehicle for hedging against political risk, essentially, and owning it as a speculative asset in that regard. Here's a politician who's basically laying out the fact that there's political risk. He's putting it on the table. Everyone's talking about it. It's good for the whole conversation around Bitcoin.
And I was surprised with Jerome Powell yesterday. He specifically said when asked, you know, did Bitcoin present a systemic risk? He said, not at the moment. It's like people are using it like gold.
Right. So you've got a perfect storm, right? You have Jerome Powell reminding people that it is a speculative asset that's a store of gold. And all these people who've treated gold as a way to protect themselves against the likes of Donald Trump, and I don't mean Donald Trump specifically, I mean literally against governments, have now been told by the leader of the most important central bank in the world that this is, in fact, a vehicle you can use.
Listen to what he said. Listen to what that leader of the most important central bank in the world said.
Libra raises a lot of serious concerns, and those would include around privacy, money laundering, consumer protection, financial stability, and those are going to need to be thoroughly and publicly assessed and evaluated before this proceeds. I think one of the notable features of the project is that the supervision and regulation of it would fall in front of many different agencies, state, national, and international, and we need to get our arms around that for starters.
Why does Libra present these problems more so than, say, Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, for one, it is going to be having a KYC system, which is to say it's going to be identifying people who are participating in the process. There are entry points into it with dollars, right? So right now, even if you are a Bitcoin wallet provider and you are somebody who is, or an exchange, you are on-ramping people in the US or in India or wherever you happen to be, you have to deal with local authorities for that part where the on-ramp from dollars into Bitcoin exists, right? He's talking about a global network that's doing this on multiple levels, and so he's thinking about multiplying on many terms the existing issues that exchanges face. But Bitcoin itself, underneath it, isn't necessarily very regulated.
Regulation, or, I mean, they're trying to hold back the tide in the sense of they know they've got to do something, but let's be blunt. Cryptocurrencies are not going to go away. Absolutely. It's not a question of their existence, it's a question of how you regulate.
Absolutely. The idea that you could hold back something that now has 50 million users around the world, that has just countless different developers developing on, that has a massive, enormous network of computers running behind it. I mean, this is unstoppable code, essentially, because nobody controls it. That's precisely why you can't stop this.
You can have a gold, you can have a Bitcoin or a crypto, or you can have the real thing, fiat, backed by "In God We Trust." Which are you going to choose?
Well, I mean, let's be clear. In God we trust, or in math we trust. There's various ways you can spin this. At the end of the day, all money is a fiction, right? All money is a story we tell each other, and if it happens to be a more appropriate one for the digital economy, so be it.
Say Libra was something of lit a bit of a fire. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for, a couple decades. This is something we've been focused on digital currencies for, a couple decades.
Specifically on cryptocurrencies, we are spending a lot of time on this on both an interagency basis and with the regulators. We're about to roll out some significant new requirements at FinCEN. We want to make sure that technology moves forward, but on the other hand, we want to make sure that cryptocurrencies aren't used for the equivalent of old Swiss secret number bank accounts. So we share your concerns, and you'll be seeing a lot of work coming out very quickly.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, please like and subscribe. If you do like what you're listening to, please advise your friends and family to also subscribe to the channel. It's a very imperative time that we get back to reading and also finances and learning how the world really works. because this game doesn't work if we understand that that's all it is a game. It's all planned out. Now, basically, as far as with the, we're going to go over Bitcoin, of course. Right now, we have Bakkt, so of course, we have a leg down. Like I said, it's going to last a few days. We'll pump right back up until we have CME and BitMEX. You know, I keep you notified, especially you traders. The videos that you saw, of course, Trump speaking about Bitcoin, well, sending out tweets about Bitcoin and crypto, and then Jerome Powell saying the opposite. Because we know that, of course, the Treasury, the Fed has been working on cryptos for 2 decades, as Powell has stated. So something that I was thinking about is that Libra is on the back burner. It's not even spoken about, it's not brought up, but we know in Executive Order 13772 that, of course, Ripple was in that actual executive order, and who signed that executive order? Trump. So he already knows that fintech is going to lead this, you know, these next decades. So never forget, you don't listen to what a politician, these billionaires say. You follow the money. The money will always take you where it needs to go. Now, I did a video a couple of days ago about China's cryptocurrency. It's on the back burner, but I said, you know, behind the scenes, they're working on it. So now they come out, you know, Asian Times came out and said they're going forward with their digital currency. You now see a lot of their Chinese companies consolidating along with Binance. Binance is making moves, guys. And if you really think that's Binance making a move, then basically you're not listening to my channel. It's all planned out. The Chinese government is going to fund Binance. And believe me, they probably own it. And he's just probably the face of it. We know how this game works. But there's a lot of mergers going on, a lot of moving pieces over in China. And going back to the Anthony Sutton video, I'm going to keep repeating that. This is all planned out, guys. It was planned out a long time ago, back even when Reagan was first started in office. This was been playing out for decades. So you also have China investing over in India, their mortgages. We know the BRICS. So and their funding as far as with Russia and Brazil, India. So you see them carrying their weight. They're over in Africa getting all the gold, owning the companies. Going to the regular, as far as with fintech banks, which is PayPal, the government has advised that they're part of that $350 billion stimulus. So you have PayPal, of course, fintech bank, and they send me offers all the time to my business and saying, hey, look, you can have this amount of money and we'll get it to your bank today. So we're starting to see these fintech banks being a part of the regular banking system, guys. So that is very, very big, because a lot of these businesses are going to go through PayPal instead of going through your regular bank where you got to fill out all this paperwork. With PayPal, you don't have to do that. And then plus they throw your money right in your account a lot of times same day. This depends on how much you're going to be getting. But guys, this is just a short video. I just wanted to go over that. Just like I said, make sure we're looking at Bakkt, looking at the stable coins. We'll know when to get back in, so therefore we can start making money. Now, that's all I have for you. Don't forget about the books, Cryptoteacher NWO book. The links below for the new guys to crypto, Binance, Bitrue, Coinbase. Don't forget about your stocks, your chip stocks, Cobalt, gaming, never bet against the banks, your at-home stocks since everybody's still at home. And then also, basically, of course, people, over 6 million people have lost their jobs. So when people are depressed, anxiety, they drink and smoke weed. So don't forget about those stocks. And y'all have a wonderful day.